All right, welcome everyone to the very first episode, although we're going to call it episode 0 of the Salute the Outdoors Campfire Tales. My name's Paul Young, and I'm honored you've pulled up a chair with this fire with me. This show is about something simple but powerful. Real people sharing real stories about the outdoors and how nature has helped us cope well with life's toughest challenges, really. Um, for me, uh, that's anxiety. I've really struggled with anxiety over the last few years, largely related to some Army military endeavors. Although I'm not a combat veteran, I suppressed a lot of things from the military for a long time as a result of that. And I'm finally at a point in my life where I've accepted it for what it's worth, and I'm trying to move through that. For those of you that care, I do not have a VA rating for it. Something that I attempted to accomplish, but uh, was unsuccessful, and it is what it is. So here we are. This is me working through my challenges, uh, and largely for me, the outdoors has always been a reset button. Whether it's bird hunting, got one of my girls right here, my bird dogs. So bird hunting with my dogs, fishing with my kids or my dad, or uh, spending some time just sitting here on the porch enjoying the outdoors with my wife. It doesn't really matter. Just being outside has been one of the best coping mechanisms that I've found to help alleviate the uh, I don't know how to explain it, but to alleviate the stress of what anxiety brings to my life. Um, so I want this campfire to be a place where everyday people can be heard, and maybe where we can all find a little healing together. Uh, One of the big things that's I'm finding, especially as I get a little bit older, is that I need a community, and this is the community that I want to build. It's a community that I think there's a lot of resonance in, especially as we all fight for the same desires, which is enjoying the outdoors. And for me, I want to do this largely because of my family. Uh, I want to make sure that they recognize I'm trying to put in the effort to uh, be a better person, husband, father, uh, and dad as well. And I said father, but a dad is more than a father to me, because you can be a father, but being a dad is it takes uh, a certain father to become a dad, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a future episode. But largely, that's what I'm here for, because my anxiety comes out in the form of anger more often than not. Even just a little bit ago, my wife and kids and I were at dinner, and uh, the stressors got so bad that I didn't explode, but I had a bit of an outlash on my son, completely uncalled for. I apologized, but the remorse that I feel when that happens is uh, it really hurts, and it hurts a lot. So I'm sure any of you that may have had similar feelings can resonate with that. But to kind of bring it back to full circle as to why we're here is to really engage in the outdoors by telling stories that help minimize the pain that we experience uh, from every day, whether it be military, non-military, PTSD. I mean, you name it. Mental health is an issue in this country, and uh, this is my way of trying to help others in the similar situation as I am, but also utilizing one of the best coping mechanisms that I've found, which is uh, connecting with other folks that are of like minds, that enjoy the outdoors, whether it be hiking, biking, kayaking, hunting, fishing, you name it. Everyone has a space here in this uh, vlog, podcast, whatever you want to call it, that we're doing here. But largely, in my mind, we're building a community. So one of the things that I want to do in this particular series is share outdoor experiences, because that's what uh, whenever I'm talking about the outdoors, even I feel a sense of relief. And so the tonight I'm going to share one of my favorite stories about hunting, which is the very first opportunity that I had at taking a antelope with my bow. So we're going to rewind the clock to 2016, and my wife was about 8.5 months pregnant at the time, and we were all set, ready to go, excited about it. And the day that we were supposed to leave, things just started to spiral. Uh, the not even going to try and blame anything on people, hormones, or anything crazy like that, because that's not what this is about. But it was just a rough day, to the point where my wife almost filled our diesel truck with gasoline. Uh, she backed into our brand new home's garage, uh, literally brand new construction. She's probably going to kill me for laying out some of the dirty laundry here, but it's all a part of why this makes me feel so good at the end. But anyway, so we're gearing up, we're getting ready, truck's loaded, and we both had to work late days that day. I believe it was a Thursday, and opening day was Friday. We got the trailer hooked up, ready to rock and roll. We start bombing down the interstate, and things slowly but surely start to relax, right? Uh, Not worried about the truck, because obviously nothing didn't happen to the truck. It was almost catastrophe, but it never happened. Uh, the garage was a dent at the end of the day. Nobody got hurt, and we were able to call a good friend that had a garage door business at the time, and he was able to install a nice new door for us, because the one that the new construction had put in was absolute garbage. But anyway, all those things worked out in our favor, even though it was after the fact. But leading up to the hunt, we get to our campground late at night. Again, the wife's pregnant, and I'm trying everything I can to make sure that she's going to be comfortable for the night. And we finally get to that point where we relax and fall asleep. Next morning, we wake up. I'm super energized because I'm the one doing the hunting. Again, the wife's pregnant, so she's kind of slow to get moving, and she's not the most morning person on the planet, but that's besides the point. She got up largely because I think she loves me, but also because I think she also wanted to be there and be a part of the hunt. And so we start cruising through this area. We're hunting public land, by the way, with a bow, antelope. Those three things combined uh, just increase the hardness of this hunt exponentially. We are in an area that we had actually never been to before. I had only e-scouted this area, but the long and the short of it was we were in a pretty awesome spot, because right away we started seeing antelope. One of the cool parts about antelope hunting, for anyone that's never been, is it's unlike deer and elk hunting traditionally, where you only get to hunt in the morning and you only get to hunt in the evening, because that's when the animals are active. Well, antelope are active all day, but they can cover some serious miles in a very short period of time. So first things first is hop out of the truck and get gung ho and start putting on a stock. Made it to a couple hundred yards. The antelope were not crazy about my presence, but also not super spooked. They're just kind of running around doing their thing. Well, that turned out to be a running around doing their thing to get out of Dodge pretty quickly, because as I came up and over this little, uh, I don't even, it's just a little knoll, grassy hill, and I was face to face with an antelope buck at about 60, 70 yards. And it wasn't, by the time I got my chin up over the crest of this hill, these antelope were gone. Just see you later, getting out of here. So run back to the truck, check on the wife, see how she's doing. Everything's good to go there. So we start going up and down this road that we actually end up calling Antelope Alley, because the only road on this, I don't even know how many acres of public land this was, but it was several thousand, if not more. And the this road was the only road out of all the miles we drove that day, that we actually saw any antelope on. It was pretty wild. And so uh, we actually started heading away from Antelope Alley, so we could kind of get up on this ridge and just do some glassing, just kind of see what was going on, because literally off of the highway we turned on to Antelope Alley and we were into antelope. So we're like, okay, this is obviously we're in the right spot. We're doing good. But anyway, we head up, do some glassing, actually glass up the goats that we had just kind of spooked off, kind of see where they're headed. Fortunately, in this area, it was a pretty dry year, and we ended up finding some watering holes, which uh, doesn't really matter in this story, but obviously the antelope need to drink water from time to time throughout the day. So, uh, having no other experience other than literally trying to walk after this one antelope, I pulled out my stalker decoy, which is a cow elk, but it's the only thing that I really had. And I started walking towards them again after we found another group. Uh, this time things got a little interesting because as I walked towards them, it was just a lone buck on this particular stalk. Uh, the buck wasn't going anywhere. As I got closer and closer, buck still wasn't going anywhere. So I was like, all right, this is going to be it. I'm going to be able to get close enough and I'm going to be able to take this thing down. Well, I got it to about 115 yards. And sure enough, the antelope poked up, turned his head, and he was the ghost of the prairie pretty darn quick. So let's talk number two. Hike back to the truck again, checking on the wife, making sure she's doing good. She was actually doing really well. Wasn't feeling too much pain or any pressure at this point, and wasn't feeling like she needed a nap or anything either, which was great. I was having a great time. It was actually close to my birthday, and so it was kind of a celebratory weekend that we were going to spend hunting for my birthday. Uh, so we ended up taking that opportunity after the second stock to get some lunch. And as we were eating lunch, we see this new group of antelope, a group that we hadn't seen very far into the distance. They were probably somewhere in the 3/4 of a mile distance or range away from us. And I was like, all right, well, while you're finishing lunch, I'm gonna take off after these antelope. That proved to be quite the painful experience. I got uh, there was a slight draw that I was able to walk through, where that disguised me from where the goats were at, and it allowed me to kind of stay away from their vision or their eyesight. Uh, but I knew as soon as I came around this bend, they were only going to be a couple hundred yards away. Uh, as I got around that bend, it was nothing but sticker bushes and cactus. And unfortunately, I made the awful decision not to wear any knee pads, unfortunately. Uh, and so I got pretty tore up in the cactus on this stalk after lunch. Um, and at that point in time, by the time I made it back to the truck, even though it was just kind of after lunch, it was about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was about as smoked as you could possibly get. Uh, and we had made our way away from Antelope Alley at this point as well, because of the way the where the antelope were at. I had the wife drive around with the truck, and get off onto another county road that was a couple miles away from Antelope Alley. So I told her, "Hey, let's start making our way back. If we get into them, great. If we don't, it was a fun day, but I need to get something on all these stickers and cactus that I've got in my knees and in my elbows at this point, because it was hurting pretty good." Well, we start making our way back, and we actually see some antelope like right on the road. And I was like, well, shoot, I mean, obviously, we're not going to just barrel towards them because they're going to take off. So we just kind of started moseying our way up. Uh, Antelope didn't really move all that much. Well, I was like, well, let's keep going. Maybe I'll hop out and we'll see what happens, right? We get to a couple hundred yards away, and in an effort to not spook the antelope, I hopped out pretty quick and had her drive up. And where this was at, there was kind of uh, a swale in the road, where there was a culvert, and it then climbed up this little hill pretty quick right after that. So I told her to just go up and crest the hill and see if you can what you can see behind you, as I make my way towards these. Bless you, Nala. As I make my way towards these goats. Anyway, we or I start kind of crawling through the drainage ditch in this field, and I'm getting closer and closer, about 100 yards away. And what I didn't realize is there was a couple does that were not necessarily right next to the road. They were kind of off to the, I guess it would be the south of Antelope Valley, and had no idea that they were there. Uh, but they knew I was there, and they started to gather all their friends pretty darn quick. Got out of Dodge again. Again, I'm pretty smoked. It's the end of the day, but I was like, you know what? I uh, called my wife on the phone. Fortunately, we had service, and was like, hey, I think it's time to call it quits. It's the end of the day. So I hopped in the truck, and what I thought was the end of the day was about to turn into the best part of my day. The wife was giving me a pep talk, and all that stuff that an amazing wife and support person would do for a guy that just got obliterated by cactus and stickers in a gnarly field, and just got beat up by spooky animals. Um, but as we start to make our way out towards the highway, uh, we see a couple more antelope. I'm like, is this really going to happen right now? They're just going to be there, and they're going to allow me to make this happen. Well, I really didn't want to, but my wife just kept encouraging me. Hey, you got this. Uh, this could be it. You got to go try. Um, so she actually just sat in the truck right there, which is kind of like a big no-no when it comes to antelope hunting, because as soon as they see a vehicle stop, they immediately bolt. But for whatever reason, this buck on this day hung out. Uh, he allowed me to get out of the truck, walk around, and at this point he was kind of facing away from Antelope Alley. I was the truck was kind of here, and the goat was kind of facing this direction. So I came around, and I just started walking up behind him. He was making his he was just moseying. Really didn't care that I was there. Uh, he turned, put his head down, and started walking a little bit, and I picked up the pace because I didn't have much shooting light left. So what happened is I got up, I got to about 62 yards. I came to full draw. That goat came perfect broadside to me. I released my arrow, and I smoked him right through the front shoulder. He took off about 350 yards, give or take. We measured the morning after, but that was a painful evening. It got dark quick, and we didn't have any means to try and find this goat in the dark. So I made the hard decision to, go back to the campground, and ultimately, it was probably the right decision, but it was a painful evening. Anyone that's put an animal to bed after they've put an arrow in them understands that there's always that what if it didn't go down, or what if it didn't die, or obviously the worst, you wounded the animal and it's suffering. Well, fortunately, the next morning we bombed right at first light, bombed up Antelope Alley. It turns out we were only within a half a mile of the highway where we turned on to Antelope Alley, and uh, the we got to about where we thought I shot. Started getting the binoculars out and picked up a goat pretty quick, and then got out the spotting scope. Realized it was a bedded goat, uh, and I was like, okay, I think he's either still wounded or he's dead. So I made my way out there, wife in tow, again 8.5 months pregnant, bombing through the prairies with her crazy husband, and sure enough, I got my first antelope buck with a bow, and we had already had our son's name picked out before that, but it was super fitting that we named our first kid Hunter. And um, he was born almost 2 months, I think, to the day, actually, after that, which is even more crazy that we named our son Hunter. Um, and his first hunt was in the womb, and helped me have a successful antelope uh, archery antelope season that year. Uh, Ever since, I've yet to kill one with my bow. Since I've killed a couple with my rifle, but I think that's uh, even more of a challenge with the bow, and the fact that I continue to persevere in the pursuit of antelope with archery equipment. But anyway, that kind of concludes this story, this campfire tale for the evening. But I hope those of you that enjoyed the story, enjoy the company, uh, please consider joining the community. I want to do more of these. I already have a few folks lined up that I want to bring out and do campfire tales with. And I could really use your help with subscribing to our channel. I really want to do these live. I don't want to get into editing and removing the personal emotions that come out of these things. And sure, there may be some whoopsies here and there, but I got to get to 50 subscribers. I'm almost halfway there as of the recording of this, but I really want to get to 50 so I can start doing these live, and I can bring people in and start having real good conversations, healthy conversations, and hopefully limit these to about 25-30 minutes as well, in order for us to uh, try and grow the community, the Salute the Outdoors community. And if you care about us even more, please look us up on the web. We've got a web page. We do have some apparel and things of that nature for sale. Um, One of our big things that we do is train dogs, bird dogs. We're actually going to have a litter of puppies here in a few months. So look up our hunts, check us out, and we really appreciate you being here. Thanks so much.